This is a tapestry, hidden figures. February is Black History Month. Why do we need a Black History Month? Do we need a Black History Month? There was an article in last year's USA Today that looked specifically at the young adults in our country today. These young adults went through puberty with a black man in the White House. Do we even need a Black History Month? This year, someone new is in the White House. And here in Derry, a single mother of a biracial child made national news when she reported eggs, fried chicken, and watermelon thrown at her car and strewn across her front lawn. Hateful words, racial slurs that I refuse to pronounce, were painted on her property and etched into her car. One of the slurs included the words, "Go home." Go home. That doesn't even make sense. The United States is home to millions of African Americans, Irish Americans, German Americans, Muslim Americans, Jewish Americans. The American invitation is etched into one of our most prized monuments.
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. 1883.
Oh, but wait. When that lovely sentiment was written, the Africans had been arriving for 245 years. Slavery existed in North America from 1620 to 1865. And although slavery had been abolished when that beautiful lady took up residence in the New York harbor, oppression and inequality for African Americans did not disappear. On the contrary, if we can live up to the invitation on that statue when it comes to our dark-skinned neighbors, it isn't about Black history at all, because we'll need to look at Black presence today. So I'm thinking that Black history is important if we're even willing to begin to understand the hidden figures that are every bit a part of us as we are of them. As we turn to our scriptures this morning, our first scripture is from Acts. The Apostle Paul is directly and indirectly responsible for more than 3/4 of the New Testament. He wrote at least a third himself, and then he influenced another third. But Paul, known as Saul at the time of this scripture, was an enemy to the followers of Jesus. His job was to hunt them down and kill them, which he did with great passion and success. But one day, everything changed when one person accepted God's invitation to go against culture, to go against normal standards, and to go against his own fear. This one man, whose name is not a household word, brought about Saul's conversion to Paul, servant of Christ. Without him, our Bible would look so differently. The New Testament would have 4 Gospels. And what? We can't know. The key is that our Bible is what it is today because one man went against culture and his own fear for the sake of God.
Here now, Acts chapter 9, verses 10 to 15. Now there was a disciple in Damascus named Ananias. The Lord said unto him in a vision, Ananias? He answered, Here I am, Lord. The Lord said unto him, Get up, and go to the street called Straight, and at the house of Judas look for a man of Tarsus named Saul. At this moment he is praying, and he has seen in a vision a man named Ananias come in and lay his hands on him, so that he might regain his sight. But Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard from many about this man, how much evil he has done to your saints in Jerusalem. And here he has authority from the chief priests to bind all who invoke your name. But the Lord said unto him, Go, for he is an instrument whom I have chosen to bring my name before Gentiles and kings and before the people of Israel.
And for our gospel text today, we will hear part 3A of that 5-part series, the Sermon on the Mount. If you have a study Bible, one that inserts headings for particular groupings of Scripture, the heading here is usually concerning anger. But I'd like to call that into question today. What if the takeaway for us, what if what Jesus wants us to hear is not the problem, which would be anger? What if Jesus wants us to walk away with the solution? The solution that he's suggesting in this section of Scripture is reconciliation.
Hear now Matthew's Gospel. You have heard that it was said to those of ancient times, You shall not murder, and whoever murders shall be liable to judgment. But I say to you that if you are angry with a brother or sister, you will be liable to judgment. And if you insult a brother or sister, you will be liable to counsel. And if you say, You fool, you will be liable to the hell of fire. So when you are offering your gift at the altar, if you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First be reconciled to your brother or sister, and then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are on the way to court with him, or your accuser may hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and you will be thrown into prison. Truly, I tell you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny.
Let us pray. May God add a blessing to our understanding in the areas of reconciliation of every kind. Amen. The United Church of Christ is a young denomination with historic roots. As members of the UCC, we claim Congregationalists and early Christians as our forebears. Historically, we have been on the leading edge of justice issues for people of color. Congregationalists are among the first Americans to take a stand against slavery. In the year 1700, Samuel Sewall, a member of one of our grandparent denominations, wrote the first anti-slavery pamphlet in America, The Selling of Joseph. This publication is believed to have laid a critical foundation for the abolitionist movement that took 100 years to blossom. In 1773, a young member of Old South Congregation to Boston, her name was Phyllis Wheatley. She became the first published African-American author. One of her first poems speaks so eloquently of her two worlds.
'Twas mercy brought me from my pagan land, taught my benighted soul to understand that there's a God, that there's a Savior too. Once I redemption neither sought nor knew. Some view our sable race with scornful eye. Their color is a diabolic dye. Remember, Christians, Negroes black as Cain may be refined and join the angelic train.
And in 1785, Lemuel Haynes is the first African-American ordained by a Protestant denomination, ours. He becomes a world-renowned preacher and writer. (1839) was a defining moment in our history for abolitionist movement, when enslaved Africans break their chains and seize control of the schooner Amistad. Their freedom is short-lived, and they are held in a Connecticut jail, while the ship's owners sue to have them returned as property. Christians, our forebears once again, the United Church of Christ, organized to free the prisoners. The case becomes a defining moment for the movement of abolishing slavery. The Supreme Court rules the captives are not property, and the Africans regain their freedom and go home.
The Amistad case is a spur to the conscience of Christians who believe no human being should be a slave. In 1846, Louis Tappan, one of the Amistad organizers, organizes the American Missionary Association, the first anti-slavery society in the U.S. with multiracial leadership. It unites Congregationalists, Presbyterians, Methodists, and other Christians.
In 1858, members of First Congregational Church in Oberlin, Ohio, join others from Oberlin College and the local community, both blacks and whites, in defying the fugitive slave law. They rescue a captured runaway slave, John Price, from the hotel where he is being held in nearby Wellington, Ohio. 20 are arrested and held in jail in Cleveland. Price is hidden and sent along on the Underground Railroad to Canada. The Oberlin-Wellington rescue case helps raise opposition to the fugitive slave law, one of the causes of the Civil War.